Who doesn't love some true JDM power? I'm talking about powerhouses that are able to rip through streets and fly by supercars. The iconic JDM beasts have become more into the dreamland price point, like the Supra and the FDRX7. But there are so many other JDM cars that are able to compete with them and modern supercars. Today, I'm going over my top 5 JDM powerhouses all under 5K. Let's go. (1991 to 2000) Lexus SC300. Lexus grew quickly to become one of the leading luxury car manufacturers. The Lexus SC was one of Lexus's earliest models, which came as a coupe and has quite a few different engine choices, one of which was Toyota's 3-liter straight-six 2JZGE motor, which is one of the most well-balanced engines, similar to the Supra's 2JZGTE motor, which is the turbocharged motor. This 90s car still looks a bit modern with its sleek styling cues and leather interior that still stands out among all the basic cars on the road today. These motors have a huge availability for aftermarket parts, so it would not be hard to push a lot of power out of this beast of a car. These GE motors, if built correctly, can push upwards to 1000 horsepower, effectively becoming a pure supercar slayer. Or if you want to keep it reliable, throw on some bolt-ons and you're good to go. Either way, there is a huge aftermarket for these engines. You can find these cars in all kinds of price ranges, but here's one below the 5K price range. These cars in general are very reliable. However, there are a few things you need to keep an eye on. The dashboard LEDs may have issues, heating and AC may fail, and there may be a check engine light due to a simple EVAP system failure that might be due to a loose gas cap. And if not, unplug the battery for 10 minutes and see if the light comes off. Either way, the car is still safe to drive. 2002 to 2006 Acura RSX Type S. Acura is a slightly more upscale Honda that shares all the same reliability in a different shell. The Acura RSX Type S is one of those very underappreciated cars that people kind of forget about. Although, in my opinion, it looks sick. The Type S has sharp body lines with a unique front fascia and unique rear taillights with leather interior. It's a pretty cool car that really stands out. This car is a fantastic setup to start tuning with its K20A2 motor that has 200 horsepower from factory and paired with a 6-speed manual. The horsepower numbers that people get out of these engines are insane. And a few have hit around 950 horsepower. By just installing simple bolt-ons, you could achieve close to 300 horsepower. The potential to become a supercar slayer is within reach. You could find these cars starting at $3,500 for an acceptable one. You could also find a base model RSX with a K20A3 motor that has 160 horsepower, but those were nerfed from factory and cannot handle much more power. This Acura is such a badass car, I just had to bring it back to another video. 2002 Acura RSX Type S. There are a few minor issues with this car, like leaking taillight gaskets and the trunk filling up with water, likely due to another leaking gasket, and sometimes a rough idle. However, it's still a pretty reliable car. 1989 FC Mazda RX-7. We are so used to the typical cylinder-powered engine to create mad power. However, Mazda has offered a high-revving, smooth, and high-output engine with 0 cylinders in a such small displacement, and they make some incredible sounds. How could you not love that? The FC and the FB are the best affordable applications for mad power from a rotary engine. From a simple 1.3 liter engine with a turbo, you could achieve well over 250 horsepower in such a light car, and it is very versatile and very capable and performing well while drifting and even drag racing. There has been 700 horsepower builds with these crazy engines, and it definitely sets them apart from any typical build. You can find these cars as low as $2,500 to $5,000. These cars do have a handful of issues and are very finicky. I would not recommend a rotary as a first car, so do your research before buying one. (1991) Honda Civic. This racer machine and raspy fart cannon can not only sound loud and very annoying, but it can actually be fast. Yes, instead of the racer exhaust blowing your ears off as the racer flyby with a 200 horsepower 4-banger engine, they can actually achieve some crazy horsepower numbers. If you're getting the Civic to modify, you have to grab the hatchback. It's more practical anyways. The Honda Civic ties very closely for the cheapest car to tune while you're on a budget, because you can find these cars from $1,000 for a crap car that runs, or $3,500 for one that is in good condition. Now, preferably, you would want to start off by switching the stock heads with heads from a VTEC engine. Then, you could start the road to mad power on a budget. It's not unheard of for these cars to have 600 horsepower. Now, for a turbo kit for these budget street slayers, you'll be looking at around $1,600. Not a bad deal. Now, these Hondas, there's nothing much wrong with them. The Hondas are pretty reliable. So, Hondas are so far the cheapest cars to build to become supercar slayers. But we're missing one more budget build. The Mazda Miata. I know y'all saw this coming. The Mazda Miata is talked about so frequently, but that's because these cars are so light, nimble, and performance oriented, and super cheap. You can easily find an unmolested low mile one under $4,000. With just an LSD and stock power, you'll easily be sliding around. However, that's not why you clicked this video. These engines can easily be built to handle 500 horsepower reliably. And 500 horsepower in about a 2100 pound car is absurd. For an example, at 360 horsepower to the wheels, you can get roughly a 4.3 second 0 to 60, which is for sure in the supercar range. Now, imagine 500 horsepower. It would be tough not losing traction. NA, NB, and even NC Miatas are a great choice. It's your pick, guys. Miatas are fairly reliable as well. One of the main issues it has, and in the NA Miata, is that the clutch slave cylinder tends to give out. Of course, I could have added many more cars to this list, but these are as budget builds as you can get while achieving this supercar killer status. Guys, let me know which one you would pick in the description down below. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch, guys, and be sure to stay safe out there. It's pretty crazy. Since you made it this far, you should have enjoyed this video, and if it helped you out, be sure to press that subscribe button and like it. If you had the time, check out one of these videos. This is Chris with AutoMotivate. Always appreciate one another. I'll see you next time.